Today, like I said, I want to talk a little bit about the power of praise. Now, we can call praise many, many things, and I think we always do. It can be called thanks, it could be called gratitude, it could be called recognition, it could be called gratefulness. So what is this thing that we call praise, and why is it so important? Well, one of the things that we do know is that the Bible lists and lists and lists topics and instances of praise and thanksgiving. So we're going to go a little bit, and just to kind of prove the point, about a few of these texts here. So we're going to go to the slide, and here in Psalms, it says, "Sing to the Lord with grateful praise. Make music to our God on the harp." And right after that music, I can tell you that music can be a very profound praise. First Chronicles says, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever." Also keep on going, again in Psalms, and we can see this over and over in Psalms. "I will give thanks to the Lord because of his righteousness. I will sing." Remember, again, we just heard that singing. "I will sing the praises of the name of the Lord Most High." Now moving on to Philippians. "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." And then in Thessalonians, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." So, we know that the Bible emphasizes praise, thanksgiving, gratitude, whatever you want to call it. We see that it is important. And actually, it is something to praise, right? It is something you look at the praise and you say, wow, that's pretty amazing. Now, like with many, many things we see when it comes to our relationship with the Lord in the Bible, we see that science then comes along and confirms what God already told us. So let's look at the benefits. What does the literature say of being grateful? So if we go to the slide, we see that studies have found that gratitude opens the door to even more relationships. It makes you more open to having human connectedness. Gratitude also improves your physical health. Isn't that amazing that you can feel better in your skin because you are grateful? And of course, what we all know, that gratitude improves your psychological health as well. So people who practice gratitude in their life actually are happier people. Then we also have gratitude enhances empathy and reduces aggression. Now, I'm going to stop here a little bit and say, how many of you know someone, and I think we all unfortunately know someone like this, who complains all the time? We all know someone, right? You know, in the studio here, we had hands raised, that complains all the time. There is no making them happy. If it's sunny outside, they say, "I like the rain." If it's raining outside, they like the sun. If they say, "I want to hear music," "Oh, the music is too loud." And, "Oh, I'm hungry," and then someone cooks for them, "Well, I don't like the food you cooked." I mean, it's over and over again. And we all know someone like that. And can we all agree that those kind of people drain the life out of you? You are exhausted. If you have someone who you work with or someone that you are related to or even live with, when they are that personality, it can be exhausting. And then you seem agitated. What this says here is that gratitude reduces aggression. Sometimes you feel aggressive and you don't even know why, and it's because of all of that negativity all the time. So if we go back to the slide, we have grateful people even sleep better. So are you ready to sleep better? We can be grateful. Gratitude improves self-esteem, and gratitude increases mental strength. Now, this is what science has told us, and we are hearing about gratitude all the time. And to be honest, I have been on this journey about gratitude, and I want to become a more grateful and thankful person because of the things that I have experienced. We know tomorrow is not necessarily guaranteed. And so in my journey about gratefulness, the question that always keeps coming up for me is, how can we be grateful when bad things are happening? When we have nothing, we have no money, we have no physical possessions, how do we look past that and be grateful? How do we be grateful when we have suffered profound loss? Loss that can really utterly destroy us. How do we look past that, or actually see and be grateful through that cloud of loss? Or let's say disease is attacking our body. And we've lived a good life. We feel like we've done the best we could. So why am I dealing with this attack on my physical body? How do we look past this and actually be grateful? So I will say for me, there have been some times that people that I have loved the most have gotten sick, and I am looking on the future and saying, well, what happens if I lose this person? And I'm going to be very, very honest with you today. I truly look back at those scenarios and I haven't reacted very well. I have fallen apart. Basically, I was useless to everyone who needed me. So that's why this question about gratefulness, how can I prepare myself? Is there anything that I can do that I can actually, in those dark times, look and praise? So a lot of people have influenced me in my life, but the two most important people that have influenced me in my life, and I feel like they are probably the most extraordinary people, and take that with a grain of salt because I am their daughter. These are my parents, and they actually started a ministry, and I'm going to tell you about thankfulness and gratefulness. They started a ministry called Fetch 15 years ago, and this was their little celebration that they had at their school. They have a campus in India. And if you asked them about their ministry, the praise and thanksgiving they have for God for giving them the health, the means, and the opportunity to have this ministry, it just overflows, and it flows from them so easily. But I'm not here to talk about their ministry. What I am actually here to talk about is the children that they serve at their school. And I have a picture here of the children that they serve. And what you'll see here is, on the left, you will see them praising God. They will sing for hours at the top of their lungs. And these are children who don't have any money, who don't really have physical possessions, and they are absolutely full of praise. And it's interesting when you see them, because you would think that they are from a royal family, how much praise that they have. And you see from these pictures, you see them praying earnestly. And when you hear them prayed, it is just, I mean, you want to go and kiss them all, because their eyes are so tightly shut, and their hands are, in, order of prayer, and they praise God for everything from food to school to their parents to having a safe place to their teachers. And it's interesting what these children have taught me about abundant praise no matter what the circumstance. It's interesting how children can be some of our greatest teachers, isn't it? I also want to share with you a story when I've been on this journey, is how you look past. I want to share a story with you about one of my colleagues. Her name is Sharon Blincy, and I have actually worked in the same department with her for the last 12 years. And when you work with someone for 12 years, you get to know them a bit. And Sharon has impressed me so much with her great faith, because she has experienced profound loss. And one year, a few years ago, in April, she lost her sister to an unexpected car accident. It was a tragic car accident. That same year, August, she lost her father. This is just months apart, and she had lost her mother a number of years ago. And so in that same year, she was faced with being the last one left of her nuclear family. How do you experience that profound loss and knowing that your life will never be the same and still praise? So I talked to Sharon and I said, how did you do that? Because looking at you during that time, I was so impressed with the strength that she had, and she would, every time she would come into the office for a few hours in between funeral arrangements and all kinds of things she had to deal with when you experience loss, she basically said, when you know He is there, when you know God is there, you get past the why. So when you know God is there, you get past the why of this is happening, and you see how He is leading. And when I asked her, what are 3 things that you actually praised God for in that time? And this is what she said, as you can see the slide. The first thing she said was, I was grateful for my faith. And I think that's why she could see past the why and see how God was leading. She also said she was so grateful for the friends that stood close, that would never let her go down to her sister's home to pack without being alone, or to the mortuary without being alone. Her friends held her up, and she was so grateful for them. And the third thing she said was that God was just so present. It was so obvious that He was working on our behalf through that year. And she says now, looking back at it, that year of pain was the closest I have ever been to God in her whole life of being a Seventh-day Adventist. Wow. There's a lot I can learn from Sharon. And I hope that I will be part of what she did when my time comes. And the third one, how do you praise God when disease is attacking you? And so I want to tell you a story about another person that is just such an inspiration to me. And I have a best friend, and I met that best friend in college, and actually this year is the 25th year that Claire and I have known each other, so Dr. Claire Bowman. And she hates when I throw out that number, so apologize, she was like, I'm not that old, stop putting that number out there. So it has been 25 years that we have known each other. And when you start meeting each other in the freshman year of college, and now you can see over 25 years, you get to love that person, you get to know that person very deeply, and actually walk through the ups and downs of life and through school and everything else, and you get to know their family and admire their relationship with their family. So Claire has a very profound and deeply loving relationship with her father, Dr. James Bowman. I'm going to show you a picture of him right here. This is him with his granddaughter. And so I have, through Claire, known Dr. Bowman for 25 years. And a little while ago, Dr. Bowman was diagnosed with cancer. And knowing this profound relationship that Claire and him have, my heart ached when she told me about this diagnosis. And and she has brought me along the journey of Dr. Bowman's cancer spreading to different places in his body. And a few weeks ago, she called me and she said that cancer has now moved to his brain. Talk about being attacked over and over and over again. And the question is, how do we find thankfulness and gratefulness and praise when we are being attacked like this? And I will tell you, Dr. Bowman is one of the kindest people you'll ever meet. And we ask these questions on, why do these things happen? How can we praise? And Dr. Bowman, today will be 16 days ago, he had brain surgery. And as God would have it, I had a conversation with him just yesterday. And I asked him, how do we be grateful? And that conversation has thoroughly blessed me, and I want to share with you some of the things that he said. Mind you, this is 16 days outside of brain surgery while chemo was going on and all kinds of things. He said, God has preserved me. He will take me through. There was no promise of taking away hardship, but he said he would take me through with a sense of accomplishment of his power. It's amazing. So I asked Dr. Bowman, what are you grateful for right now in the midst of this battle? He said, number one, I am thankful for my family. My family has given tirelessly, and over and over and over again, they have been God's face to me during this battle. The second thing he said is God and who he is what I'm thankful for. I am thankful for who God is. I am thankful for his character because his character gives me hope. And in that, he said, trust in God now is not so much a feeling for me. Trust in God now, I actually rely not on the feeling, but I rely on what I know. And what I know of God is that he will take me through. And then he also said, the third thing I'm thankful for is my experience. For my 70 plus years of life, he has put me in places that have allowed me to be his servant, to use me, and I had the opportunity of being a blessing to other people. And then he ended with this, which I thought was great. He said, in the time of the end, I want God to know me, and I know he knows me because I talk to him all the time. That left me with something that actually was a great blessing because I'm still looking and searching in those times, in those dark places, when I am looking on loss, when I am looking on grief, when I am looking on my life will never be the same again. How can I move past it and be thankful? And that really rang, something, it really impressed me when he said, I know he knows me because I talk to him all the time. And what I have come up with for now in my particular journey is that I want to praise every day so I get in the habit of it. I want God to know my voice on the days that are good and the days that are bad. I want to thank him for my relationships. I want to thank him for getting up in the morning and I can inhale. I want to thank him for my legs working and that I can walk and go to work. I want to thank him for the profound blessing of the people he has blessed in my life, my parents, my sister, my husband. I want to thank him for the sunshine. I want to thank him for the flowers. I want to thank him. I want to thank him. I want to thank him. So no matter what we call it, whether it's gratefulness, whether it's thanksgiving, whether it's praise, whether it's gratitude, I want to empower all of us today on our journey to be thankful. And we need to do this every day. So whether it is a prayer, whether it is journaling, whether it is speaking it out loud, What studies have shown is that when you are grateful every single day, even after 2 weeks, your body reacts. And with that, I want to say, may we always remember, always, 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 as 1 Chronicles says, give thanks to the Lord. I'm going to say it again. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever.
The city was Jerusalem. The time was long ago. The people called him Jesus. The crime was the love he showed, and I'm the one to blame. I caused all the pain. He gave himself the day he wore my crown. He brought me love that only he could give. I brought him cause to cry. And though he taught me how to live, I taught him how to die. And I'm the one to blame. I caused all the pain. He gave himself the day he wore my crown. He could have called his holy Father and said, take me away, please take me away. He could have said, I'm not guilty, and I'm not gonna stay. I'm not gonna pay. But he walked right through the gate, and then on up the hill. And as he fell beneath the weight, he cried, Father, not my will, and I'm the one to blame. I caused all his pain. He gave himself the day he wore my crown. And I'm the one to blame. I caused all his pain. He gave himself the day he wore my crown.